we realized that there's a population of people that are afraid to go to the gym because they don't know what they can do. They don't know what's safe to do. We kind of created this program that was a bridge program between, yeah, they're not in pain, but they're going to be in pain if they go to the gym. So we need to get them ready, prepare them for strengthening and conditioning.
Hey, Smart Chiropractors. Welcome to the Smart Chiropractor Show and our featured guest segment. I'm Dr. Jeff Langmaid here with my co-host, Dr. Jason Deitch. And today we have the opportunity to sit down and chat with a fantastic chiropractor, businessman, entrepreneur, all of those things and more that I have been fortunate to know for quite a few years, Dr. Anthony Houssain. Anthony, thanks for taking some time and chatting with us today.
Thank you, Jeff.
My pleasure. So one of the things that I've found out about you as we've spent some time together is not only are you really focused on clinical excellence, but you have a great mind for business. And as Jason and I were doing a little bit of prep, we noticed that you are expanding the model and care that you deliver. Not only do you have spine care, but now you have spine fit. We'd love to spend some time exploring that. What is the difference between spine care and spine fit? Let's start right there. And why are you expanding the services that you're offering?
You know, for years we've been a more of a rehab-based clinic that our goal was to progress our patient to a point where they can self-manage. And self-management is their ability to exercise and ideally in a fitness environment. And so we would typically hand the patient off into that fitness environment. But what we kept on seeing is that the population of patients that we were typically handing off, fitness environments weren't ideally ready for them. You know, people with fusions, with knee replacements, these chronic recurring conditions that didn't easily fit into a fitness program. And so we decided to design Spine Fit around this population of patients that needed a more customized approach to their care so that they could find a way to self-manage and exercise, but do it with the body that they have at the current state of things.
Hey, Doc, do you have an email list of 300, 500 or more? If so, please connect with our team at thesmartchiropractor.com. With Patient Pilot, we can activate that email list and start generating reactivations into your practice each and every week. To schedule a demo and learn more, head over to thesmartchiropractor.com. Again, that is thesmartchiropractor.com. But right now, we'll head back over into this awesome interview on Interviews by the Smart Chiropractor.
I think it's super creative. I think it looks great. You're presenting it well. All of those wondering, you can follow him on Instagram, on Facebook. We'll leave links down below. Anthony, I'd love for you to dig in deeper in terms of your thinking around most chiropractors who have tried these types of programs before would just expand their practice. In your case, if you look and you go to follow either on Instagram or at spinecarechiropractor.com, you'll see that you are presenting it as two different businesses next to each other, different name, different title, different sort of almost tone to it. What is your thinking about, and I think it's a great idea to have sort of two different doors for sort of two different services at some level, even though they complement each other. What was your thinking in having two separate businesses that way? And I'll also then ask, how do the businesses differ in their business models?
We built Spine Care out of our referral network that we built with the medical community. And during that process, I learned that, a lot of doctors, MDs, wanted to recommend exercises for their patients and their populations of patients, but they didn't know, they would give them like handouts. They'd give them sheets of paper saying, hey, this is what the drug company gave me. But they really didn't know where to go, where to send them. And so for me, above and beyond just a fitness, I felt that there was a business model there that you could actually market to the medical community for their population of patients and the different disciplines within the medical community. Like I would see many bariatric patients that would be recommended to go with exercise, but yeah, I would see them at my practice because they've ramped up their exercise before their body was ready for the exercise, and they come in with either undiagnosed stress fracture or injuries to areas of the body because the body wasn't ready for the type of exercise that they wanted to do because they had been sedentary for so long, and their body needed some work, on the front end before throwing them into an exercise regimen. And so I believe that there's a large population of potential patients out there from the MD community that just need a fitness facility that understands their needs versus just a general fitness facility. That's the main reason why.
And then how can you elaborate on the business model? I assume your primary care is probably third party focused. As far as reimbursement, does insurance cover spine fit, or is that part of the reason for having two different identities? And can you elaborate on that part as well? What is the business model for spine fit different than a traditional fee for service third party reimbursement program?
Yes, the spine fit is completely membership based, and it's a small group fitness facility. So the training that we do is between 4 and 6 people, and each person is screened on the front end so that we can identify what their needs are before we design a program specifically for them. So we want to take a look at somebody and make sure that mobility and stability issues have been identified on the front end so that we can blend that into the program and make sure that we're working on those components as well as the strength and conditioning component. And so we didn't want to complicate things too much, and we knew that there's already an appetite there for our patient base to go ahead and pay out of pocket for a subscription type of fitness plan. And so this was just more customized to them. And we started with just our practice. We haven't even marketed this to the community yet. We just started with our internal patient base, and we've already, our first month, we've got 40 members, and that was more than we were anticipating. Our goal was 100 for the first year. And so there's a large need there just within the practice. And it wasn't a hard sell. It wasn't a sell at all. It was just a natural progression of what we were already doing. It just now is an additional service that we have a relationship with. And so that's where it's spine fit being a separate business model, but at the same time being joined alongside it has the foundation of the clinic to start from, and then it has the rest of the community as well as the medical community to grow from there. And so that's how we meant to kind of give it legs and give it an ample landing strip to be able to take off from.
You're doing a great job articulating this vision, Anthony. So kudos to you, because you're just doing a great job articulating it. And I'd love to dive one level deeper. There's so many docs out there, in my opinion, and maybe yours as well, that have been scared of instituting. They have all these hangups around memberships and subscriptions in and around their practice. And as you've described it, you're mostly rehab-based, sports-based practice and help people getting out of pain, getting to maximum function, and historically discharging them. And then you saw this need. For the docs out there, the question is, for the docs out there that maybe have been reluctant to build in any sort of membership or subscription service line into their practice, what would you say to them? What would you recommend? What would be insight that you'd offer them?
For us, it wasn't a big leap for us to make the fitness component subscription based, because that's kind of the standard of the industry. And so it wasn't a large leap versus making part of our practice subscription based, which is a bigger leap. And so I can see some doctors' apprehension because it's new, outside of your joints, and there are models out there that are already subscription based, and but it made sense for us for that business model, but it also made sense for us because we're trying to diversify our income streams. so that we can create a healthier practice. And creating a subscription base means that you've got yourself a more stable income stream that's coming from a different revenue base than your insurance-based practice. And so for us, it meant diversifying our portfolio of where the money was coming in, and it was, it's worth it for us to investigate subscription based so that we can see and learn and see if there's anything that we can gather from this experience that our practice side can learn from.
Hey, do you ever wonder where all your patients went? You spend so much time and energy bringing new patients into your practice, but it's almost like putting water into a bucket with no bottom of the bucket. We want to help you change that. We want to put a bottom in your bucket so that when people come into your practice, they stay in your practice. If that makes sense to you, then I want to invite you to check out our Patient Pilot automated email campaigns. Schedule a demo and learn how you can pilot your patients back into your practice and how we can help you do it. Enjoy the rest of the show. I'm looking forward to learning that as well. Hopefully you'll come back and share what you do learn along that process. Can you share so far how it's going? And more specifically, what is the response when you share it, for example, with, I'll call them your inactives, the people that have been out there for a long time, that have been part of your care, maybe even the actives who are then graduating to whatever you want to call rehab or fitness care. I'm asking for a friend, do they reply with, why are you trying to sell me more stuff? Or do they really understand, wait a minute, this is actually a really great idea. It is an opportunity for you to solve a need of a problem that's legitimately there. I think every chiropractor probably is experiencing what you're talking about at some point. They reach a maximum level of improvement. If you don't have those types of exercise, fitness, personal training, physical therapy, whatever you call it, then the person gets better and obviously doesn't continue to heal, continue to improve, and they get limited results relative to what they could and should be getting. How are people responding to this offer? Are they excited? Are they grateful? Are they, take my money, this is wonderful? Or is there any type of resistance or whiff that you're doing it for the money or for the sales of it? And again, I ask because in the spirit of Jeff's question, there's a lot of chiropractors that are resistant to different ideas outside of their traditional model of third-party reimbursement or medical referral relationships and so on. What are your thoughts? What's their feedback?
For our patients, this has been almost like it's been something they've been waiting for, because it's completing our continuum of care. We've always prided ourselves on taking from acute and progressing them to a point where we want to be able to discharge them. But we never had an environment that we can discharge them to. And for years, we'd get patients to come back and say, I went to the gym, but as soon as I started doing the deadlifts, man, my back acted up again. Or, I did this new exercise and, now I'm afraid to go back. And we realized that there's a population of people that are afraid to go to the gym because they don't know what they can do. They don't know what's safe to do. And then in building Spine Fit, we realized that there's another population of patients that want to exercise, but they're not even close to being ready to exercise. And so we developed an entire class called Foundations, which is about this population of people that need a bridge between getting their body ready for exercise and being able to exercise. And so we opened up an entire program for our Foundations population, which, and it's just surprisingly large. It wasn't anticipated, and we didn't see it until as we started bringing members in and we started screening these members. We had this large group of people that just weren't ready for the gym yet, and there was no plan to get them ready for the gym. There was no place for them to go to get ready for the gym, and so we kind of created this program that was a bridge program between, they're not in pain, but they're going to be in pain if they go to the gym. So we need to get them ready to prepare them for strengthening and conditioning. And so that program grew out of that population of people that we started to see more and more as we started to educate our patient base about this program.
That is a fantastic point, and there's probably many more people, as you well described, that we're unaware of that, exactly as you described, are unable to really get to that point to really utilize the gym in a meaningful way. But there's no, like, where do you turn? Now, one of the things I want to make sure we touch on is you mentioned how your patients were ready for this, and already you've sort of exceeded your expectations. How did you think about launch strategy? Did you use anything with urgency and scarcity? How are you able to get adoption so high? And again, we come at this from the standpoint of, this is what people are raising their hand to want, but there is always something. It doesn't have to be salesy, quote unquote. But how did you really get a launch that got that much momentum? Did you think about urgency and scarcity? And if so, how did you utilize that in the initial outlay of the program?
So there was a little urgency. We identified, or we designated a founders group. They say, okay, if you sign up early before we even have a entity, you're going to get, there's a discounted on the membership rate. And we get you started early. We screen you early because we can do that in the practice, and kind of get them ready for it. So we started, and in each one of my rooms, we had a QR code that they could scan, and it just had Spine Fit in the QR code. And then once they scan the QR code, they can learn about the program and what we're offering. So we started generating a lot of questions just with our patient base as they were coming through, asking, well, what is this? Is it for me? Is this something I should do? And so that's where our initial traction came from, is that, hey, we wanted to start a founders group. We didn't want too many, because we knew we were going to make a lot of mistakes, and we wanted a population of people that we knew we could make mistakes with, that wouldn't hold that against us. And so for us, but we didn't want too many. So 30 was our sweet spot when it came to our founders group.
That is fantastic. I want to say I really appreciate your time and really going into the details here. Let me ask, do you have a goal, Anthony, in terms of what percentage of your revenue is recurring revenue? I know you, I'll say very intelligently, anticipated the idea of this fee for service leaves you very vulnerable, and having monthly recurring revenue that you can count on and depend on month after month after month is a nice, heartwarming way of knowing that your business has some continuity to it. Do you have a goal for a percentage of your revenue you want to generate recurring as opposed to fee for service? Is that part of your mindset and your business plan?
I mean, looking at our numbers, I would like to get up to 25%, and that's, for me, that's it stabilizes things. But since this is a direction that we really don't know what the ceiling is yet. So, but that's our initial goal, is around 25%.
Anthony, thank you so much for taking the time. I feel like this is a topic we could explore for hours and hours, but we will save that for another day. Thank you for being so open, being willing to come on and share what you're doing. I think it's fantastic. There's so much opportunity out there for chiropractors, of however you practice as a chiropractor, to help people at the highest level possible. And quite often it takes a new idea. So thanks for coming on and sharing. We appreciate you, and best of luck as you get the launch up and running.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for watching this video on the Smart Chiropractor. To not miss a single thing that's clinically oriented, marketing oriented, or more, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel today.